Yes, you guys, welcome back. This is going to be the first out of 2 news daily videos. I don't know what's happened this Wednesday, but it's been jam-packed news upon news upon news. For the first news daily video, I'm going to focus on 3 reports. There are going to be some breaking news from Jorginho and his agent confirming an exit this summer. Mad news, you guys, and to continue on, we remain in Serie A with some updated news surrounding Donnarumma, and it seems like he won't be renewing a new contract extension with AC Milan. So yeah, it seems like this summer is going to continue to grow. We're going to do some absolute bits this summer, you guys. And to end things, we move to the Portuguese league where we show renewed interest in Jesus Corona. So you guys, I hope you enjoy. Remember to smash that like button. And before we continue on, I was featuring in the 4th episode of the Hold the L series. This week, we discuss England number 10s and who out of Mason Mount, Foden, Grealish and Maddison is England's best attacking mid. So I'm going to play you guys a brief clip here.
Statistically, Mason Mount is the weakest link out of the 4. And that's statistics. Throughout the course of this season, if I run off some of the statistics this season alone. But the stats do support that.
I need to hear this.
An attacking midfielder. An attacking midfielder. Well, first and foremost, an attacking midfielder is judged by the chances they create and everything else. He has less chances created than all of the players that we're mentioning. He has less assists than all of the players that we're mentioning. He has less goals than all of the players that we are mentioning. He has played more minutes than every single player we are mentioning, and his statistics are worse.
Oh my God, you guys, this week really highlighted to me that Mason Mount is not rated how I thought he was. You know, I'm sorry, DT. The use of facts was not correct, bro. It wasn't how it was done. It doesn't prove anything why Maddison is superior to Mason Mount. And actually, Mount's stats show that he's one of the best creative players in the Premier League this season. So, of course, you guys, you know, you have to hear the full episode for yourselves. You're going to find a link below in the description and in the card above. It's going to be a big one, and I really appreciate you guys if you show some support by clicking on that link. Here what I had to say, defending our boy, defending Mason Mount, and without wasting any more time, let's kick things off by discussing the news, starting with the latest news surrounding Jesus Corona. Now it seems like this summer, we are on the market to sign a wing back for Thomas Tuchel, and interest has resurfaced surrounding Jesus Corona. Now we got some massive news surrounding Corona and a move to us because there seems to be some very interesting details inserted in his contract. Basically, every season Corona is not sold, his valuation on his release clause becomes lower and lower. Now this is like a common cause with most players playing for FC Porto. It makes sense because in the past so many players have been priced out due to the ridiculous release clauses inserted in their contracts, and it seems like Jesus Corona would be available in fact for only 20 million euros. That is an absolute bargain. However, there is a slight little catch, you guys. He can only be bought for 20 million euros between the months of May and June, meaning that there is a very small window when it comes to capturing this player. And to be honest, you guys, there's nothing like a little bit of transfer news to put a little bit of pressure on Porto before we play them later in April. How concrete are these stories? Well, you guys, it's not the first time we have expressed interest in Jesus Corona. His agent actually came out a few months back to basically confirm that there were talks held in the summer. However, a move did not materialize. Now, if you're asking me, it's common sense that the club were obviously privy to the news that there is this certain release clause in Corona's contract. So why sign him for more money when you know in the following season you can get him for 20 million euros? Now, you guys, I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions. And immediately, Jesus Corona is one of the most versatile players, one of the most skillful players across Europe. This guy can play all down the right hand side as a right back, wing back, winger, attacking mids, up front, down the left hand side too. If you're Thomas Tuchel, a player like this will most definitely excite you because next season it's clear that we are going to keep our back 3 system alongside a 4-3-3-2. Now, to compete on all fronts, to be able to challenge for the Premier League title, I feel like we have to upgrade the options we have in the fullback areas. Yes, you know, players like your Alonso's, they've done well. You know, players like Aspie, when he has to play down that side, he can show it too. But there's plans for Hudson-Odoi to play further forwards and to give Reece James competition. Jesus Corona could be that player. Considering previous players we've looked at, I'm talking about Hoffman from Borussia Mönchengladbach and Attal from Nice as well. All three of these players share that same similar profile, players that can play in a multitude of positions, that play best as wingers, wingbacks, and for me, out of all those guys, Jesus Corona is the one that stands out. I mean, one of the most fun players to watch, one of the most skillful 1v1. He's in the prime of his years right now. He's available for an amazing fee, an amazing price. He would give Thomas Tuchel options because we know that Tuchel is a manager that likes to rotate the formation, rotate the teams, have that strong squad consistently competing. And if we sign a player like this, I feel like the squad for next season most definitely is going to be ready to compete on all fronts, you guys. So in the comments below, give your thoughts and opinions. How do you feel about this news? Would you like to sign Corona for a bargain 20 million euros? Do you think he is needed? Share your thoughts below, you guys. And now we move on to one of the big stories that came out today. It's surrounding Donnarumma, and we got some updated news surrounding his contract extension talks with AC Milan, as well as Milan's plans in the summer window. Now, we know for a while now that Donnarumma, his contract is expiring this summer. He is going to be available for free, and his agent is Mino Raiola. During these past few months, there have been difficulties finding new agreements with AC Milan, and news came out today suggesting that it seems like contract talks may be put off entirely. This comes down to the wage valuation that Donnarumma wants. He wants 60 million euros a season, which is far below the 8 million that AC Milan offered him. I mean, that is a crazy amount of money. No surprise why Raiola is going to push something like that for his client, because if you go to transfer market, Donnarumma is the 5th most valued, expensive goalkeeper in the world, valued at around 60 million euros. So no surprise why he's going to get the very best he can get for his client, and of course get the very best that he can get for himself. And due to this, AC Milan aren't feeling confident. They're in the market looking for replacements, and two goalkeepers that have come out is Musso and Mike Maignan from Lille. So is Donnarumma going to become a Chelsea player? Reports say that us and Paris Saint-Germain are the two main clubs showing the strongest interest in signing him, and I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions now. The wages, they're absolutely mad. 16 million euros a season. I guess if you were to compare Donnarumma, the 5th most valued goalkeeper in the world, compared to his contemporaries like your Oblaks, your Courtois, etc, etc, all those goalkeepers earn massive money. Donnarumma knows his stock, he knows his value. That's going to safeguard his career for the future. And for a club like us, they are wages that we could easily afford. Now, when you consider amortization, the fact that Donnarumma is here on a free, no transfer value, means that we could easily afford to pay the 60 million a year. The question is though, is it right that we spend that amount of money, considering we have Edouard Mendy, who has some of the most clean sheets throughout Europe for any goalkeeper, who has been such a big player for us, that has completely upgraded that goalkeeping area over Kepa? Do we really need to invest a vast amount of money on another goalkeeper, considering the one we have already is more than good enough? It would make sense for Milan to sell him. That money they're saving on his wages could be used towards Tomori, and it's obvious that Milan are doing everything they can to sign Tomori on a permanent. For me though, is he necessarily needed? Personally, I don't like the idea that we're spending tens of millions a season on goalkeepers. I mean, Kepa, we still have the most expensive goalkeeper in the world. Can't get rid of him. No one wants him. And the reason for that is that he was given a ridiculous contract, which means that he is impossible to get rid of at this point in time. We've signed a goalkeeper for a fraction of that value, who's on a fraction of the wages, who's shown to be probably one of the most commanding keepers for me, in the same category as Petr Cech, Courtois. It feels like complete overkill to sign another goalkeeper. Now, I know the arguments would be rotation, but I'm sorry. Goalkeepers aren't outfield players. You don't need to rotate them constantly. They're not out here busting their guts running. And even injuries happen so rarely to goalkeepers that is it worth spending 60 million euros a season on a younger goalkeeper? Now, yes, Donnarumma is very talented. Yes, he could kind of safeguard that position, but at the same time, you know, goalkeepers are playing to their 40s in modern day football. Mendy could easily play for the next 10 years. And for me, it would feel like a case of diminishing returns. You know, signing Donnarumma, does that guarantee more clean sheets? Does that guarantee more big saves and big games? We've seen Mendy do the same thing throughout this season. It's only my opinion, so I'm going to pose this question to you guys. If Donnarumma is available on a free, do we have to sign him? And if so, state your reasons why. And now, we end things with another big story that came out this afternoon. It's in regards to Jorginho, and his agent came out today with a bombshell revealing that after Chelsea, their thoughts are return back to Italy and go back to Napoli if they make an offer. He mentioned that if Chelsea don't renew his client's contract, then most definitely an international player of his standards is going to go back home. And the reality is, it's looking like we aren't looking to extend his contract whatsoever. However, Sarri going back to Napoli could play a massive part. Now, for me, it makes no surprise why his agent has been so vocal, so public, just revealing the whole to you guys. For me, it's obvious that they're trying to do their part to persuade Napoli to re-sign Sarri, to make that happen guaranteed, because as his agent knows, he knows the limits of his client's game. Now, is this an insult? Of course not. Different systems suit different players. It's how the game is. It's how the game will always be. And it's just smart business decisions. You know, Jorginho has to safeguard his own career. Going back to Italy, playing under a manager that got the very best out of him, makes a ton of sense, especially if you're considering leaving too. And even though Jorginho has found a new resurgence now back at the club, now that we're playing a more possession game, a more short passing game, then obviously that's going to get the best out of him. That's going to highlight his best strengths. But if we are to progress, we need players that aren't too niche. We need players that can do both, that can also play a short passing game, but when they have to play long, when they have to cover ground, they can do the same things too. When you use Jorginho in a system, inadvertently you have to use a back three system, because it's all about reducing the space and distances for Jorginho to press. So, you know, if this move happens, it feels like Jorginho himself would know the reasons why, the club would know the reasons why. It would not be an insult, it would just be pure footballing business. And you know what, if we have to grow and become a more complete tactical team, then I feel like maybe decisions like this have to be made. But that's only my opinions, guys. Would he be disappointed if Jorginho was to leave the club and go back to Italy? I'm sure that some of you guys would, and you're perfectly allowed to feel disappointed, you guys. But anyway, on that note, I'm going to wrap things up, keep things moving. The first out of 2 News Daily videos, you guys. There is going to be more. I'm MEFC. This is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.